I read a meme which said that the more number of betting apps are there in a country, the better are the chances of recession there. This thing probably will change your mind in a very reverse manner. Welcome to the interesting series called the Placement Reports. Here I am not just going to tell you the numbers. I am going to tell you what are the evolving market trends, what sort of careers you have to think about when it comes to top B schools offering wonderful placements. Here is the SPJIMR report for 2024 and 2025 batch. 2025 has just begun, so the batch that just graduated, that is what we are talking about. Let me tell you that there are two programs that SPJIMR offers primarily, which is something that you aspire for. Of course, there are other programs as well. First one is the PGDM program, simple PGDM. When I talk about PGDM program, this starts in June because now it will start in June 2025, so that's what I've written, and it is 2 years program. This is that program where you will be able to see that there are 4 specific categories in which students enroll. Operations, information management, marketing and finance. There is a big form that you eventually fill, which we will talk about later on. But the placements for all these 4 types of MBAs happen together. In fact, the reports that they submit the reports as the program plus the overall of the 2 programs that I'm going to talk about now. Which means a healthy understanding of any college's placement is revealed through the combined effort that the college provides in terms of placing all its students. Let's take a look at the batch profile. When I talk about batch profile, the gender ratio of the most recent batch is quite fine because 1/3 of these are females and 2/3 of these are males, which is actually considered very healthy in the MBA cohort. Followed by that, the work experience. Now, this is something which should excite you. Majority of the batch is an experienced batch. Freshers are very limited. Because the admissions happen both on profile basis and the merit basis, which you get from CAT and couple of other exams. The profile based admission will come to only those people who have a very versatile profile. So overall, versatility has work experience as a component of it, and that's why you would see that more homogeneity is there in terms of the work experience within the cohort. Let's take a look at the placement statistics. Very interesting. 30 lakh per annum is the median salary, and in general I'm going to guide you. Everything is okay, average salary, highest salary, blah blah blah, but this is something you need to aspire for. In fact, not just this is what the most of the people have gotten, which is a good thing. But you should also think about this: what percent of the batch has gotten what sort of salary? And in general, if you are a decent student who can work wonders in the academia, let's say if you can come in top 10, 20, 30, 40%, then more or less what half of the batch has gotten sort of is something that you should think about. And this is what is greater than 30 lakh per annum. In fact, for the 5% of the offers, it is 40 lakh per annum. If I talk about the bare minimum, that more or less 90% of the offers are more than 25 lakh per annum as the CTC, that also offers a very, very healthy placement. So even if it is CTC and your fixed takeaway is less, which eventually should be the case, but that also will not be much less. So when you go on for the latest switches later on and so on, all these things will happen on this. Which means even if the markets are going down, MBA colleges, good MBA colleges are providing wonderful placements. So maybe the meme that I talked about in the beginning wasn't worth the hype. Let's talk about the next program. Okay, somehow there is 3 programs written, just consider it 2. This is called PGDM Business Management. In that, you will see that more or less the gender ratio is similar. In this case, slightly females are fewer as compared to males. And if I talk about work experience, now this should really open your eyes. There are many people who want to get into SPJIMR and they are freshers. So maybe this is not a very good news for you, but most of the cohort is work experience cohort. So if you are one of that, great. Maybe if you have a great academic profile as well, you will land a chance. Let's take a look at the final placement for this particular course. 112 participants were there. Median salary was still the same. In fact, if I talk about the key placement highlights, it is exactly the same as the previous one. This could also be possible that these are the total highlights, which is also healthy. So what I did, although on the website, they did not provide every single detail. So I tried to combine a couple of these things to provide you with a comprehensive pie chart. So here is something which will really excite you. 40% of the entire batch, now this was given there, was inducted by consulting roles. Wonderful thing. In fact, this is the trend you will see in more or less all the top B schools, including the top IMs. Generally, tech is something which is slightly less because of the slowdown, but still growing at a healthy pace. Anyway, tech profiles are already fewer in case of the MBA colleges, because it is the MBA college. So eventually the tech profiles that will come there will also be related to management. So more or less you will be seeing that general management, FMCG more or less remains the same, which shows quite a healthy balance. What you are seeing in others is the sub roles within these disciplines and some other disciplines as well, for example pharmaceutical and so on, which also is simply the case. Which means if you are part of, let's say, operations cohort, or you are part of, let's say, the marketing cohort, you will get the chance to be part of various other organizations which are not offering the core roles for you. And that is actually the benefit which is given to the students when combined placements happen. As far as SPJIMR is concerned, MBA is offering wonderful opportunity of career. And if you think this is something which resonates with you, it is a good idea to start your MBA journey right away. And thus, feel free to reach out to us. Look at the description that is given in our description box, where there are necessary links for you to connect with us. Never shy away from asking relevant questions. Maybe this year is your year for a great career.